Discover the remarkable journey of Peg the duck and the young heroes who propelled her to overnight fame. Join us as we delve into the full story of this Indian runner duck's rise to prominence. The story began when Patsy Smith found a tiny baby duck. We found Peg sitting on the bank and he hadn't been hatched long. Smith has been raising ducks for a long time, but she never saw a duck in such rough condition. In my hands, I cradled the unfortunate baby duck who, to my dismay, possessed only one foot. Upon closer inspection, I discovered that its foot was not only missing but also in a deplorable state. It became evident that a turtle had cruelly bitten off its foot. As time passed, the young duck matured, bravely adapting to its altered circumstances. The duck grew and grew, but instead of getting used to walking on one leg, the now 8-month-old duck had an irritated stump that was causing more problems. Smith had to do something, so she started contacting animal rescue operations to help Peg walk again. But then she got a call. Smith had no idea that a group of 8th graders from Armorial High School from northeastern Arkansas would be the ones to save the duck's life. They had to take measurements of Peg's leg, check out the duck waddling again in the grass. 3 students at the school, all ages 14 to 15, worked together to create a new prosthetic leg for the duck. Now, the 3 students had a dream: help this duck walk again. But it wasn't easy. Abby Simmons, Matthew Cook, and Darshan Patel had worked in the past with technological tools and resources that helped them prepare for critical thinking and problem solving. How did they find out about Peg? We found out about Peg on Facebook. When he was a baby, he didn't have a leg, explained Patel. He added that with a 3D printed leg he can run, and he wasn't able to do that before the prosthetic. Their teacher, Alicia Bell, East Lab facilitator, said this wonderful thing about her students and their abilities. In their report, the students had one single goal, and they finally managed to achieve it. We're trying to make it just right so he can run around like other ducks. Patsy Smith couldn't contain her happiness. We're creating transitional fields, virtual reality environments. One of our environments is a grocery store, so the students with disabilities can use a 3D projector or 3D goggles, said Alicia Bell, adding that these students can use the VR and environment to practice walking and real-life skills for the future. Together with her students, Bell entered these projects and won a grant, which enabled them to buy a large 3D printer. Winning the grant in the Sophistication and Innovation category, the students got the large printer, which they used to create Peg's leg, but creating a leg for a duck turned out to be a tough task, explained Bell. Before the duck got his leg, the students spent months measuring from photographs and 3D printing different models. Luckily, the school's lab had a smaller 3D printer and the students knew how to begin their project. You won't believe how many designs they made for Peg's prosthetic leg. There was always room for improvement, so the students tried different approaches. We thought it was just going to be a shaft with a hole in it connected to a foot, but it was much more complicated than that, explained Cook. Let's see Peg try the latest model. We already were looking into ways of creating sophisticated creations with our 3D printer, and we saw that we could do just that for a duck, said Bell. In theory, it had to look like a duck's leg, but it also had to function like one. It took the students 30 tries before they finally made the perfect leg for Peg. Will this one work for the Indian runner? There was one way to find out. Here's what happens next. Peg the duck is trying the latest design. As you can see, Peg the duck was happily testing his new leg, and it seems it's working fine. But wait until you see him running in the field, and that's when everyone breaks into tears. The students went through frustrations and heartbreak, but after those 30 trials and errors, Peg had a new leg that was just perfect. Bell added that the project motivated the students because animals bring everyone together, and this was just a great way to show how work in the classroom can impact real life. It is a great beginning for young students to help more animals in the future. Smith was speechless when she realized that help would come from a school with a 3D printing lab and a team of students ready to save Peg. She began crying when she saw him run around in her backyard. What will happen next? Thanks to these awesome kids, Peg can now happily waddle again. And although the journey was difficult and long, the students are now a lot more experienced in creating duck legs, but that is not the end of the story yet. Here's what the kids will do next. Despite Peg's inability to fulfill his name as an Indian runner by running, he finds great contentment in his newfound ability to walk, all thanks to the incredible students and the remarkable technology of 3D printing. But what lies ahead for Peg and his young saviors? The talented students of Armorial East Lab possess exceptional expertise and experience in the realm of 3D printing. Patel shared that they are currently dedicating their efforts to assist a local chicken by creating a prosthetic leg through the power of printing. Their teachers couldn't be more delighted, as Bell added. It's worth noting that these students are merely in the 8th grade. Bell expressed his belief that this experience will open doors for them, as they still have 4 more years ahead to explore and expand their capabilities. Clearly, this heartwarming tale marks only the beginning of their inspiring journey, where their relentless dedication rewarded them with the joy of seeing a contented duck gracefully waddling in the fields.